Jungle Edge giving strong chase. Bonds away and Hummer late. I Am Immortal in front. Jungle Edge has got up on the outside. Jungle Edge takes the lead. Swims in the mud and won it by a length. Second, I Am Immortal or Bonds away. Then Causeway Girl or Hummer from Fine Day.
Well, what a great feel-good moment it was at Caulfield on Saturday in the Adams Stakes. And for the punters that followed in the 9-year-old Marvel in Jungle Edge, the rains came and he lapped it up. And there is a trainer, Mick Bell, with the jockey Jade DeRose. It was a great moment for her first black type winner. And Mick Bell, an emotional day for you, but what a great win. He just keeps giving this horse, doesn't he? Congratulations.
Thank you. He's had a couple of really great wins, but that ranks right up there with him.
Why does it rank so high up there for you?
Just because I think people had written the horse off, even though I was confident that he was as good as ever. People had written him off. On the Friday, the day before, that was my wife Bev's birthday. But yesterday, the Sunday, that was 3 years since she passed. So it was an emotional weekend. But it was so great that Jade got to ride the horse and she won on it. That's a big thing too, because we've had a great association. And she's done heaps and heaps of work on the horse.
So tell us the story there. You said in the post-race interview you had to stay strong because you promised Jade a ride on this horse.
Well, Jade mainly rides in the country meetings, and there's plenty of owners in Jungle Edge, and not everyone wanted to put her on. Yeah. But in the end, I just felt, look, if ever I was going to put her on, and I'd promised her I would put her on one day before the horse finished. And and think it'd be hard to get her off now.
In the lead up to the weekend, I can imagine, and you've mentioned it before, you keep sort of track of all the weather forecasts. Friday morning, Saturday morning, what were your thought process? Were you thinking we're going to get the conditions we like?
Yes, well, usually it can do your head in.
Yeah. Because you're not only training your horse, you're trying to train the weather as well.
Yeah, and this has happened many times before, and especially at Caulfield, unless it actually rains on the day, Caulfield just dries right out. Flemington's a bit the same. You've only got to look at that Melbourne Cup a year or so ago when when it looked like they were going to call them off, and then it ended up being a 6. But luckily, I had more or less till 7:30 to make a decision, but it wasn't even it wasn't a hard one for once. I knew that the rain was coming and it'd be safe to run. So, yeah, it turned out okay.
So he's won 10 on soft from 30 starts and 7 from 18 on heavy. So he just absolutely adores the mud. So you say this ranks up with one of his best wins. What other races stay in your memory that the Jungle Edge was probably his grand final, his big win?
Well, there's been lots of them.
Heffernan at Sandown was a
the Kevin Heffernan was great.
Yeah.
When he won at Sandown earlier in the year was great.
This is it here.
A couple of times when he's run a place, it's been great. They've been in big races. When he ran third in the Galaxy, that was the first time that was as good as a win.
With the horse, he's a 9-year-old now. How do you keep him up? How do you keep him interested in racing?
Well, he's trained from the paddock mainly. When I say paddock, he's got his yard. He's the king of Beverly Hills, and I just treat him like an old athlete a bit. I try and treat him now like a good AFL footballer that's at the end of his career. They probably don't make him do the pre-season like the others do.
But do you feel he's sort of, obviously his win on the weekend shows he's still at his best? He's not showing any signs of slowing down?
No, he's not. A couple of preps back, when I went to Sydney for last year's Galaxy, something happened then. He just didn't come up the same. I think he ran in a race at Caulfield. He ran a really good second. It might have been to Nature Strip. And that was a firm track and it stirred something up.
Yeah.
And when we got up to Sydney, I had different riders on him. Jade wasn't riding him track work, and the riders up there that had never ridden him before, they said he felt terrible. And how's this horse go any good? And I just sort of lost him for a couple of starts up there, but then he came back and ran a pretty good race in the Wangoom. He had a ton of weight, and that's when I knew I had the horse back.
Yeah. How many horses in your stable, Mick? Because he'd be the stable star, obviously.
He's the star, but he people laugh at this, but Celestial Sky's up there with the favourites. Yeah. A stable favourite. But how could he not be your favourite Jungle Edge? How could he not be? But basically, I was a career farrier, as most people know, and I came back to training about 5 years ago after a 14-year break, and the scenario was that I just wanted to have fun and enjoy it, and Jungle Edge made it real enjoyable. but even before that, we were having luck at the meetings that we like to go to.
Yes. And you love your bush races.
I do. I think that Victoria's picnic circuit is the jewel in the crown, and if you have a look every Saturday, there's 4,000 or 5,000 people there. They're having a wonderful time. You've got kids running around. They will look back on an enjoyable day, and then when they get to 18 or in their 20s, they'll hold their bucks party there, or they'll hold their hens party there, and it's it makes real racing fans out of young people. So, and I go back to when I was growing up. We used to go to races all the time. My grandfather was a horse trainer, and I'm talking when I was under 10.
Yep.
But we used to go, and just that gave me the love of horse racing. So, hopefully, it does it for the next generations coming on.
One country racetrack that is close to Jungle Edge and people associated with Jungle Edge is the Buchan racetrack, which we saw the fires sort of go there. Can you tell us the connection with that one?
Yes, well, back in my first trainer lifetime, I had a horse called Black Stunner that was a good horse, but he was injury prone and didn't have him very long. But that's when I met Ian Dunkley. He was a part owner in that horse, and we stayed friends all through the years, and even when I wasn't training. And he's the secretary of the Buchan race club, and the race clubs, the picnic race clubs up there. You've got Omeo, which is Hinnamungi, and you've got Swifts Creek and Buchan, and they're like a little triangle of clubs that sort of help each other out. And they're a class of racing down again from your Balnarrings and Healesvilles, but they're great. They're great weekends.
And are you going to take Jungle Edge there, or are you not going to get the opportunity to now that he's had that good?
No, well, he was only going there to but I think it looks like we're going to be in Sydney. But I'll be sending 2 horses there.
Yeah.
Now, you've had a look at the weather. Have you looked at the long-range forecast for the next fortnight in both states?
Yes, I have, and it looks like that we'll probably go to the Southern Cross at Randwick on the 15th, which is on the day that
Buchan's having their return.
You might need to get your Jane Bunn's mobile phone number. You can,
by the sound of this, you might even have more experience than her. The amount of times.
Well, I have my little formula that about the only. It's very hard to get anything accurate any more than a week, but the Sky Weather Channel gives you a predicted rainfall for the month, or predicted day's rain. So I have a look at that, but really it changes very quickly. What I try and do is just get an idea of what fronts are coming through. I know it sounds crazy.
It's complicated. But
it does your head in a bit, but
it's great stuff.
Way back in the day when well, not way back, but when I first got Jungle Edge and I worked out he was a real wet tracker, I made the bold statement that that he was the best wet tracker in Australia. So when Sydney had all that rain, this is like 3 years ago, it was just after Bev died actually, and I went to Sydney to contest these group races, and I know everyone thought I was mad, but they kind of let me go a little bit. They cut me a bit of slack because of what had happened, but he really did show he's well, he's as good a wet tracker as you can get. Whether he was the best in Australia, but Winks was running around, so I suppose he wasn't. But
honestly, Mick, I'm sure everyone shared a smile and a tear with you on Saturday. You knocked us all out of the quaddie even, but we were still delighted for you. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, great to have you in the studio, and we'll have you back for sure. Good on you.
Thank you.
Mick Bell, a big congratulations to the team behind Jungle Edge. A break, and Wayne Hawkes, yes, he's back.